Yeah, hello, this is Number coming with another Thursday video. This time we're looking at some more decks. Are you ready to see which one? You probably read the title, but still, let's nerd on.
So here we are with this. Some of you may remember this. This was the very first um, Pokemon deck of many people. This was the two-player kit, I believe. It had two mini decks in them. As you can see, I still kind of have the sleeve on it, but the box is, damaged. Um, I did pull it out before. But I believe most of the content is still here. The original damage counters, the manual. Ah, this brings back memories. This was so cool back then. I mean, it still is cool now. But the card everybody wanted to have. Um, I believe to get the card you had to fill this out and send it to Wizards of the Coast to get it. But most people didn't do it. Like, this isn't filled out. And of course, there was the actual theme decks, which were not two-player. It was actually just one concise deck. I vaguely remember all of these, but yeah, that's that. And I'll pull out the cards here. I believe this is one of the 30. Well, let's show you this first. As you can see, this is still in the plastic wrap, the first edition Machamp Hollow. That's even though it is a first edition Hollow, this card in particular, first edition, was not that sought after because all of the Machamps of base set 1 was first edition. So yeah, it was like kind of a mistake I guess they made. So being a first edition didn't make any rarer because all of them were. Now we'll look at the 30 fire cards that came in this deck. And yeah, so these are old decks and they don't have any strategies really. It's just some Pokemon, some trainer cards, and that's that. Ponyta, classic Ponyta, 40 life, 30 damage if you had two fire energies. The fire energies look plain and simple, but still beautiful. I actually really like these. Let's move this a little bit here to put the energies here. Ponyta here. Let's move this little down here. Charmeleon, very nice. This is the card that I had, the deck that I actually used to play. This is obviously I bought once I got older, and so to keep all the cards mint. But the deck that I actually used to play when I was little had two Charmeleons in it. So this was it's always fun to look at these. Had 80 of life, did 50 damage for 3 energy, but you had to discard 1 fire energy every time you did this attack, or you just do 30 damage with any 3 energies. That was very nice. Another Ponyta, 3 Ponytas, more energies, another Charmeleon. This was energy removal. You could take 1 energy out from one of your opponent's Pokemon. And they used to, and discard it, obviously. And these arts are all very nostalgic. Energy recovery, change 1 of your cards in your hand to up to 2 basic energy from your discard pile. Bill, draw 2 cards. We do have the newer Bill's maintenance full art. So from the newer set, so that's cool to see. Potion heals to 20 life points. Substitution, you change 1 of your Pokemon to your active Pokemon. More energy. Ponyta. So that's 4 Ponytas, bunch of energies, and 4 Charmander and 1 Growlithe. I'm not certain if I'm missing cards, maybe? Is this supposed to be only 1 Growlithe? I have no idea. But the 4 Charmander are very cute. 30 damage for 2, but you also have to discard 1 fire energy, or just do 10 for 1 and 50 life. And Growlithe, 60 health, 20 damage for 2 energy. I don't think I've ever had the base set Growlithe, but I do remember I had Blaine's Growlithe in my deck, and in my fire deck, and that was one of my favorite cards. I played that little deck heavily, so all the cards were tattered and almost ripped apart by the time in a matter of months, really, which is very sad to think about now, because I did have quite a few rare cards, but that is that. Now we'll look at the 30 fighting cards from this deck. So I had the fighting energy, of course. Pokédex, look up to five top cards in your deck, the top 5 cards of your deck, and reorganize them as you see fit. Very nice. Machop, very cool, very cool. 1 energy for 20 damage for 50 health. So that is definitely one that I got from the other fire monsters. I also did have a few Machop, but back then I didn't actually have a Machamp. I didn't have this. I had Machops and Machoke, and that was it. Diglett has 30 health for 1 energy, 10 damage, 2 energy, 30 damage. So as you can see, there you don't need to waste energy to do higher damage. So yeah, this is a Whirlwind, I believe, or something like that. Choose one of the Pokemon from your opponent's bench and put it as the active Pokemon. Rattata, normal Pokemon, 20 for 1 energy, 30 of health. Very cool, very cool. I do remember this art quite a bit. This was one of the most common ones that people had, and so, you know, people used to trade those a lot. Potion, substitution, we already saw. Another Diglett, more fighting energy, another Machop, and of course Machoke. 80 health, 60 damage for 4 energy, but Machoke causes 20 damage to himself, or 50 damage for 3 energy, but causes 50 points of damage minus 10 for each damage marker that Machoke has in himself. So that's, you know, it's okay. It's pretty cool. Another energy, another Machop, another 2 energy, Machoke and Machop. Rattata, Dratini, very nice. 40 health and 10 damage. I did have the movie promo Dragonite in my deck, and that used to be super cool. Was one of my favorite cards, but that also got tattered and I lost it, and that's very sad. So already off the bat, you can totally tell that the fighting, it's very unbalanced. The fighting deck was definitely a lot better than the fire one. Especially if you put Machamp in, then it has an obvious advantage over the fire one. So I think this was mostly just to learn how to play instead of actually playing against your friends with this 30. I guess most of what the kids did back then was to put them together as one 60-card deck. And that's how they used it against other theme decks. But then other theme decks also had more rare cards. So, you know, either way, it was just nice to have, I guess, since this was the first deck. And that's why I also got it once I got older. And this is just nice to have, I guess. still sealed. And yeah, that was our episode of deck exploration. Since our our channel is still mostly focused on the Pokemon trading cards, I thought this was a very nice thing to look at. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'll see you in 2 days for the Saturday video where we still open a bunch of Pokemon cards. Well, until then, stay nerdy, and remember, guys, always nerd on.